Hello everyone, we are from Group 3. We are here to discuss about the Chapter 1 of Evolution of Clinical Psychology. Introduction. Mental health is a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stress of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make contribution to his or her community. More than 450 million people have mental disorders. Many more have mental health problems, and about half of all mental health disorders begin from people reach age of 14. Worldwide, 8.7 million people commit suicide every year. Mental disorders increase the risk for physical disorders, and mental conditions increase the risk for mental disorders. Stigma prevents many people from seeking mental health care. Mental health problems cause suffering, social exclusion, disability, and poor quality of life. There are great inequities in the availability of mental health professionals around the world. 1 in every 4 people seeking other health services has a diagnosis of mental, neurological, or behavioral problem but is unlikely to be diagnosed or treated. There is a greater stigma associated with the mental health problem than the physical health problems. Defining the nature and scope of clinical psychology. As we consider the pain suffering experienced by people with mental physical health problems, the interpersonal effects of their distress on their family, friends, and co-workers, and the tragedy of ultimately untimely death, the need for effective services to identify and address these problems is evident. It is inevitable that at many points in our lives, each of us will be affected either directly or indirectly by the emotional distress of psychological disorders. Clinical psychology is a branch of psychology that focuses on developing assessment, strategies, and interventions to deal with this painful experience and touch everyone's life. Evidence-based practice in psychology. Despite the apparent overlap in the various definitions of clinical psychology, there is still very active debate about the extent to which clinical psychology can or should be based solely on science of psychology. Some psychologists doubt that clinical psychology can ever be effectively guided by scientific knowledge. Group-based data cannot be used in working with an individual. Critics argue with that because a great deal of psychology research that involves the study of groups of individuals, it is difficult to determine the relevance of research. Clients have problems now, and we cannot afford to wait for the research. Critics argue that developing, conducting, and replicating research findings takes substantial time, thus the information provided by researchers inevitably lags behind the needs of clinics to provide services to people in distress. There is simply no research evidence on how to understand or treat many of the human problems confronted by clinical psychologists on a daily basis. Each individual's unique constellation of life experience, culture, and societal context makes it unlikely to general psychological principles can ever provide much useful guidance in elevating emotional distress or interpersonal conflict. Although these kinds of concerns sound reasonable enough, they lead to suggestions of basing clinical practice on the individual psychologist's gut feeling, intuition, and experience. A passionate proponent of this position is Richard McFall, who in his 1991 presidential address to the Society for Science of Clinical Psychology challenges the field to provide only psychological services that research that has shown to be effective and safe. McFall's Manifesto for a Science of Clinical Psychology. McFall's Manifesto for a Science of Clinical Psychology. Cardinal Principle. Scientific clinical psychology, who is the only legitimate and acceptable form of clinical psychology. First, corollary. Psychology services would not be administered to the public until they have met the following minimal criteria. There are 4 minimal criteria. Criteria 1. The exact nature of the services must be described clearly. Criterion 2. The claimed benefits of the services must be stated explicitly. Criterion 3. These claimed benefits must be validated scientifically. Criterion 4. Possible negative effects that might outweigh any benefits must be ruled out empirically. Second corollary. The primary and overriding objective of doctoral programs in clinical psychology must be to produce the most competent clinical scientists possible. Mental health professions. The definition of clinical psychology provides an important perspective on nature and function of modern clinical psychology. However, it is useful to describe other healthcare professions whose services and client populations overlap those of clinical psychology. Within the field of psychology, what is unique about clinical psychology? A definition we presently emphasizes that the clinical psychology is primarily concerned about the application of psychological knowledge in assessment, prevention, or intervention in products in thoughts, behavior, and feelings. In the following, we describe several other professions, some of which are also involve extensive training in psychology.
Counseling psychology. It is important to distinguish between counseling psychology and the counseling. Counseling is a generic term used to describe a range of mental health professions with various training and licensure requirements. Estimates indicate that there are 49.4 counselors per 10,000 people in the US. Turning specifically to counseling psychology, this profession has a great deal in common with clinical psychology. Historically, the distinction between clinical and counseling psychology was in the terms of severity of problems treated. Traditionally, the focus of clinical psychology was on the assessment and treatment of psychopathology, that is, manifestations of anxiety, depressions, and other symptoms that were of sufficient severity to warrant a clinical diagnosis. In many countries, there is no distinction between clinical and the counseling psychology. In others, the distinction is becoming less and less meaningful for any practical purposes. In Canada, for example, the regulatory body for the profession in psychology in Ontario requires both clinical and counseling psychologists having the training and expertise to diagnose the mental disorders like schizophrenia likewise. Just like a clinical psychology, counseling psychology promotes the use of scientifically based interventions. This drive to provide evidence-based services likely to have substantial implications for both training and practice in counseling psychologies. Research on clinical disorders is more commonly conducted in clinical psychology programs, and research on minority adjustments and academic or vocational issues is more frequently conducted in counseling psychological programs. First, psychiatric training deals extensively with the psychological and biochemical systems and emphasizes biological, functional, and abnormalities. Psychiatrists are well qualified to determine whether mental disorders are the results of medical problems and to unravel the possible interactions between the physical illness and the emotional disturbances. Psychiatric training provides the skills to evaluate the extent to which psychological symptoms results from or are exacerbated by medications used to treat physical ailments and the chronic illnesses. On the other hand, compared with the psychologists, psychiatrists receive relatively little training in human psychological development, cognition, learning, or psychological functioning in general. Standard psychiatric training provides only limited training in research skills, such as the research design and statistical analysis. Many psychiatrists may become active researchers and have contributed in important ways to the knowledge base of neurosciences and the human sciences. An expert panel in the US warned that unless research training in psychiatric residency programs was dramatically strengthened, research by American psychiatrists risked dwindling to the point of extinction. Another fundamental difference between the training in clinical psychology and the psychiatrist is that psychiatric training generally emphasizes psychopharmacological treatment over psychological treatment.
School psychology. School psychologists have specialized training in both psychology and education. In the US, school psychologists are employed in diverse organizations such as schools, clinics, and hospitals, and in private practice. In Canada, most school psychologists are employed by school boards. Given focus on children's functioning, there is a natural overlap between school psychology, child clinical psychology. Historically, school psychology emphasized services related specifically to the learning of children and adolescents, including the assessment of intellectual functioning, the evaluation of learning difficulties, and consultations with teachers, students, and parents about strategies for optimizing students' learning potential. Clinical child psychology focused on the treatment of diagnosable mental disorder. Clinical social work. Social workers focus on ways to improve the health and well-being of individuals, families, groups, and communities. Social work practice includes activities such as policy development, program planning, program management, research consultation, case management, discharge planning, counseling, therapy, and advocacy. Social workers are employed in diverse settings, including hospitals, community mental health centers, mental health clinics, schools, advocacy organizations, government departments, social service agencies, child welfare settings, family service agencies, correctional facilities, social housing organizations, family courts, employee assistance programs, school boards, and private counseling and consultant agencies. The number of registered social workers in Canada has been growing steadily, increasing by 114.2% over the 10-year periods 1995 to 2004. This increase reflects not only the growing popularity of the professions but also changes in legislation requiring the registration of social workers. In 2009, there were almost 35,000 licensed social workers in Canada, 34.5% of whom were in Ontario and 21.8% in Quebec. Many social workers functioning as a part of mental health team in the role of case manager who, in collaboration with the patients, coordinate services with a range of social and community agencies, mental services, and other services. Case management is especially important in assisting people who suffer from severe and debilitating mental disorders such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
Now I am going to discuss about brief history of clinical psychology. The first one is root of clinical psychology. Second one is the history of assessment in clinical psychology. Third one is history of intervention in clinical psychology. Fourth one is history of prevention in clinical psychology. Next, root of clinical psychology. Among the early Greek in the period of 500 to 300 BC, Hippocrates emphasized what is now known as biopsychosocial approach to understanding both physical and psychological disorders. The philosophers Plato and Aristotle are both credited with promoting some of Hippocrates' ideas, even though they did so in different ways. Plato emphasized the role of societal forces and psychological needs in the development and elevation of mental disorder, whereas Aristotle emphasized the biological determinants of mental disorder. Next, the history of assessment in clinical psychology. The early history of clinical psychology is largely the history of clinical assessment. As clinical psychology development from psychological focus on measuring, describing, and understanding human behavior. In German, Wilhelm Wundt, who studied sensation and perception, established the first psychological laboratory and was the first central figure in authoritating for psychological experience. The third one is history of intervention in clinical psychology. The modern history of psychotherapy is typically seen as beginning with the work of Sigmund Freud and the development of psychoanalysis. Another milestone was reached in 1980 when Smith, Glass, and Miller used a statistical techniques called meta-analysis to review 475 controlled studies of psychotherapy. Next, the history of prevention in clinical psychology. The history of prevention effect in clinical psychology is much shorter than the history of assessment or intervention. This is because the proportion of clinical psychology started with an assessment focus and then added the dimension of intervention. Due to growing concern about the direct health consequence of smoking and need to promote safe sex practice to reduce induce of AIDS and the sexual transmitted diseases. Clinical psychologists now frequently plays an important role in public health initiatives to change lifestyle-related illness.
We are going to discuss about the future, summary and then conclusion. The future. In all three domains, evidence-based practice was predicted to have a greatest influence on the specialty area of clinical child and adolescent psychology. Growth Marnoth 2000, an authority on psychology assessment issue, offered some prediction about what is likely to transpire in the realm of clinical assessment and the next 50 years. Some of the predictions are mostly sure bets, such as revision to the DSM, the Wechsler intelligence test, and given the history of the clinical psychology. Perhaps the only certainty for the future is that exciting changes are stored in the profession and for those who practice it. They being said, trends starting in the past decades or two can give us same idea of the ways in which clinical psychology will develop and grow. Accordingly, it is almost certain that clinical psychology will be influenced by, among other factors, increasing to need provide psychological services for an array of health problems, not just mental health problems. Develop services that respond to the health care needs of an aging population. Summary and conclusion. Worldwide mental health problems have staggering emotional and financial cost compared with the physical health problems. Mental health problems are wholly undeserved. There is a trend across all mental health professions to develop and disseminate evidence-based services so that these serious problems can be effectively and economically addressed. Clinical psychologists share with other mental health professions are a focus on assessment and intervention in the prevention and treatment of emotional, behavioral, and neurological problems. In contrast to psychiatry and psychiatric nursing, which have their root in the treatment of pathology, psychology is grounded in the science of human behavior. Among the mental health professions, psychology is unique in its long-lasting long-standing research tradition from the beginning of their academic training. Students in psychological learn to understand, interpret, and conduct methodological sound research. Thank you.